Hi, I'm Dr. Sam Bunting, and today I'm talking about skincare and exercise, specifically hot exercise, so things like Bikram yoga. Now, it's a bit of a conundrum, especially if you do a class during the day, which is so therapeutic, but for many women, it's a huge obstacle. What do you do to ensure that you are able to go back to the office and function in an office environment? So my feeling is that the approach to working out during your day or before some form of exercise that you know is going to interfere with your makeup is, in the first instance, to go light whenever you apply your makeup in the morning. So that means skipping powder. I mean, I'm pretty evangelical about skipping powder anyway, but the last thing you want to do is to walk into a hot yoga class with a face full of powder or long wear foundation. So keep your base light. Something like a tinted moisturiser, and I'm a huge fan of NARS, is a great option, and then do a little pinpoint concealing to hide any blemishes, under eye dark circles, curl your lashes, waterproof mascara, maybe a bit of brow, lip, and a touch of cream blush, and that's it. So that's your morning routine done. Now, if you're going to a hot yoga class, I would suggest that for most people that is going to play havoc with makeup, so I would tend to remove makeup before the class. For a lower intensity form of exercise, I may leave it in place, but for something like Bikram, I think you want to take it off. Now, many women would reach for a wipe in this instance. My preference is for micellar water, and I'm a big fan of Bioderma Sensibio, the makeup artist's favourite. It's very gentle, and it's my go-to whenever water-based cleansing isn't really feasible. And let's face it, who's got time to really properly wash their face whenever you're rushing to a class? So I tend to use that with a cotton pad, and then if I'm working out in a hot, sticky environment, I will tend to put moisturiser on to support barrier function. And my go-to is something called a Baishi Hydrate, which doesn't clog pores and produces a really long-lasting hydration to the skin, which is a great thing in many different instances. I love it when I'm flying, for instance, because of its benefits in that situation, but I think it's also great whenever you're exposed to high temperature. Hair up, I use one of these in a top knot, lifting the roots away. So yes, your scalp and your roots will get a little damp, especially in a hot class, but again, sort of angling away from the scalp will ensure that roots don't collapse as they would if your hair is pulled back and low. Loads of water, and I use a bobble water bottle which filters it on the go, and do your thing. Then when you come back in from your class, I think the first thing to do is to inspect the damage and to blot. Now, normally I'd have blotting papers, but I'm all out, so I'm using simple tissue to blot away the sweat. If you're showering, I know many people don't because there aren't necessarily showering facilities. It's a bit of an issue with yoga class, but if you're showering, I would let cold water splash your face and then blot afterwards. Then what I would tend to suggest you do is, I think it's likely your skin will be fine from a hydration point of view. Feel it, touch your skin. It should feel slightly damp, it shouldn't feel rough. And if that's how it feels, then you're ready to go on to your next step. Now, if you've washed your face and it's during the day, you will need to reapply your sunscreen. So that means a £2 coin or nickel-sized amount of sunscreen for your face alone is important to go on. Apply that in a nice layer, let it dry, and then you're ready for makeup. On the go, I tend to use these small baby beauty blenders, and I will decant some base, say in this case it's NARS Tinted Moisturiser, and I will delicately apply a sheer layer with the tinted sunscreen that I use. I don't need a huge amount of coverage in this instance, and then I'll do a bit of pinpoint concealing. In my case, this is a Vichy Derma Blend foundation stick, which I think is an excellent concealer, really pigmented and stays put. I'll use one of these under eye concealing wand type pens to apply it, just because I find it super convenient. It's got the cap on already. You can be precise with that. So that's base done. I think after exercise of this kind, it's rare that you need blush. You have nature's own blush. So I do a little something with my eyes, but probably I'll just put a slick of a lip colour on. This is Burberry Kisses English Rose Sheer Colour, which is my favourite. And then what I'll do with my hair, I will take a dryer and dry the roots where usually it's damp. And then let it cool in a top knot, so that gives you a bit of root lift so it doesn't collapse as it might otherwise do. And then I'll finish with a spritz of something like Oribe Dry Texturizing Spray, which I just find it to be fabulous for giving you a bit of root lift. It doesn't sort of feel claggy, and it just kind of gives it a bit of sort of French swishiness. So that's my routine for coping with hot exercise, even in the challenging situation of doing it during your working day. I hope that was useful. If so, please subscribe and leave your comments below. Have a great day. See you soon.